And live from the Gray Eagle in Asheville, the Pearl of Carolina, it's the Travis Book Happy Hour. With special guest from the infamous String Dusters, Jeremy Garrett, and the Happy Hour House Band featuring Jon Stickley. And now, your host, Travis Book.
Hi, thank you so much. Welcome to the Happy Hour. I don't even know what to say. I'm so grateful that we're here today. I'm so grateful Jeremy's here. The String Dusters just got off of a short little tour, our first tour. What we call that is a sense of normalcy. But we do appreciate you all playing along still, wearing your mask, doing your part. But we are on the backside of this thing, and there's so much reason to be hopeful. And so I shall do a song of hope. Why we worry, tell me, why we cry and tell me, can we live together without pain? Burdens at our doorstep, burdens in our heart, it's time to let them travel, lay them down. From the tallest mountain, down in the lowest valley, we're all asking, we want to know why we're climbing, tell me, why we're falling, tell me where we're going. Want to know right. Sunrise, rise, sun, rise, sunrise. Coming and it is not promised, it's all we know. Can we quantify it? Can we try and name it? Try to fight it, hold it close, right? Sunrise. Rise, sun, rise, Thank you very much. It's been 3 weeks since our last happy hour. I'm so happy to hear you say that. For those of you listening at home, someone missed us. I really am so grateful to be able to get to do this. I had some thoughts. I was coming home through Greenville the other day, and I was really happy. Just gotten off a week of playing shows with the String Dusters. We'd just been down in Charleston, and I was riding high, let's just put it that way. And I came to a stoplight in Greenville, and I looked over, and there was this old lady. She was holding a cardboard sign, no teeth, and I didn't even really read the sign. I think it said something about food, and right away I started rummaging around. You know, I don't always give money away, but for some reason I knew I had to give this woman everything I had, so I started looking around. I only had $11, but I rolled down the window. I'm like, hey. And she comes over, sticks her head in the window, and I give her the $11, and she goes, thank you. And before I could even think about what I was saying, I go, I love you. And she goes, I love you too, God bless you. And then she walked off. And then I drove off, and I started crying, because what I had realized in that moment was that I had sort of like broken through this film, where I was no longer seeing her as someone separate. She was like the representation of every... I looked at her and I was like, that could be someone's mother, right? That's probably someone's sister. It's certainly someone's child. And in that moment, I was like, well, don't we all have that, like, broken, toothless old woman asking for help inside of us? And for some of us, you know, I think, like, there's this great lyric by Aaron Tashin that goes, some life choices are cries for help that nobody ever hears. And when I think about that, I think about people like Tucker Carlson, you know? And I think about how awful it must be to be Tucker Carlson. Like, he must be so, like, tortured, you know? And when I look at it that way, you know, when I see in Tucker Carlson the same thing that I see in this old woman, which is someone who's crying for help, it has the potential to awaken this deep well of compassion. And I was bowled over by it in that moment. And then I got to thinking about Tucker Carlson, and I got real upset. But I'm trying to have compassion for that turd, too. You know what I mean? So, without further ado, let's play a little bit of music. We're gonna do a song by Gordon Lightfoot about a homeless person. All the neon lights were flashing and the icy wind did blow. The water seeped into his shoes and the drizzle turned to snow. His eyes were red, his hopes were dead, and the wine was running low. As the old man came home from the forest, well, his tears fell on the sidewalk as he stumbled through the street. A dozen faces stopped to stare, but no one stopped to speak. For the castle was a hallway and the bottle his only friend. And the old man stumbled in from the forest. Up a dark and dingy staircase, the old man made his way. Ragged coat around him as upon his cot he lay. Wondered how it happened that he ended up this way, getting lost like a fool in the forest. As he lay there sleeping, a vision did appear. Upon his mantle shining the face of one so dear, who had loved him in the springtime of a long forgotten year, when the wildflowers did bloom in the forest. Touched his grizzled fingers and called him by his name. And then he heard the joyful sound of children at their games. in an old house on a hillside in a long forgotten town where the river runs down from the forest. With a mighty roar, the big jets soar above the canyon streets. And the conman come, but life moves on, for the city never sleeps. And to an old forgotten soldier, the dawn will come no more, for the old man has come home from the forest. Thank you. That was Jon Stickley there on the guitar. Now, my guest tonight, he's been my roommate for a decade. He's been my bandmate and friend for over 15 years. As a member of the Grammy Award-winning ensemble, the infamous String Dusters, he's gained a reputation for a take-no-prisoners approach to music. Jeremy has a reputation for being all in, all the time. All in, all the time. If he's playing, he's there, all the way there, no question. And if he's not there, then he's probably put the fiddle down. A bandmate called him one of the most ferocious and creative musicians I've ever heard or played with. That wasn't me. And standing next to him on stage, I continually see jaws drop at the frenetic climaxes of his solos, and I'm always in awe at his delivery of a song and a lyric. He agreed to stick around for a few days after a run of String Duster shows in Virginia and the Carolinas, so please make him feel welcome. Jeremy Garrett.
Thank you very much. Love you, Travis. Thanks for those kind words, man. You know.
I have more.
All right.
I have more. Do you mind if I sit while I interview?
No, please do.
Maybe I should. It takes the edge off. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, you want to join me? Yeah, totally. So, Jeremy. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we're bandmates, and when I say he's been my roommate, what I really mean is he's my road wife, and I know that we can't make that joke like we used to because it's probably not politically correct, but the fact remains, this is my partner on the road. I wake up every morning on the road in a hotel, and this guy's already awake. Already getting after it. Jeremy, you came up in Idaho, right?
Yeah, I was born in Cali and grew up in Idaho, pretty much, and yeah.
You were fiddling from a very young age.
Yeah, I started about age 3, I guess, playing Suzuki method, classical violin. And my dad's a bluegrass musician, and so, you know, he carried around a fiddle with him, but he was more of a guitar player, so he would hum fiddle tunes that he knew and would hear in these jam sessions to me and would make me play them, you know, which is a Suzuki method, is like by ear. So you hear these tunes and then you sort of copy what you hear. So it trained me to learn how to do these fiddle tunes the same way. And so that's kind of how I started up anyways.
That's no surprise, man, because you still have probably the most natural ear of anyone I've ever played with.
Well, you know, I think it's more like, for me, it's more like talking as much as it is anything else. I'd probably learned how to do that better before I started talking fully, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And so it's definitely like a natural thing for me. Other instruments like guitar and mandolin and even singing is not as natural. I feel like it takes more work. But the fiddle has been a pretty easy thing for me to get into.
Well, it definitely sounds like it's a natural extension for you. I mean, that's you and I. It's a hard thing to quantify, but you and I have joked a little bit about the difference between fiddling and kind of like fiddling at it. And you kind of like know what to do, and you're making the music, but it's like it's different than when you're.
Yeah, it's almost like role play. You know, a lot of bluegrass music is role play. You know, you have your role in the music. The mandolin does this, and the guitar does that, and the fiddle sounds like this. And so once you get that mindset, then you kind of take on that persona while you're playing the music. But if you can break out of that, which is what I've tried to do, is try to have my own unique style and sound and approach to how that goes. And I'm just trying to play music, and I'm using a fiddle to do it. So hopefully I'm throwing out a lot of the rules that normally apply. And that's been the thing that's sort of attracted me to the fiddle.
Yeah, it's interesting with that. It's interesting you say that because that's something I wanted to talk to you about. I was planning on talking about it later. Something that's so sort of definitive in this phase of your career, where you are just really, it's like you're kicking down walls wherever you find them. You know, you're really expanding what's possible for you on the fiddle with the looping, and I think that's really cool. It sounds like that's sort of been kind of that. Well, I was gonna say, you know, I've got a note here. Like you came up in Idaho, but you weren't into the contest scene. You've always been a pure improviser, into playing tunes your way, into expressing music your way, and not trying to emulate.
Yeah, it was like a rebellion or something that I had as a youngster. I just didn't want to be, I don't know, like I hated like the in crowds, the cliques, the groups. I never was trying to be a part of that, you know what I'm saying? I just was trying to be as myself, and that was hard enough. And so coming up, you know, through school or whatever, you know, nobody knew what bluegrass was in Idaho, you know. And then there was this group of fiddlers that joined, you know, this, I forget, it was Fiddlesticks or something, you know. It was cute. And they all had their thing, and they all played the same way. Their bows went the same way, and all the people that ever won the old-time National Fiddlers Contest, I grew up near Weiser, which is 40 miles or so away.
Right.
All the people that ever won that won by playing a certain Texas swing style, contest style of fiddling, even though they called it the old-time National Fiddlers Contest. And I thought it was so hypocritical, because if you actually played any old-time music, you would definitely lose the contest. And I have a great respect and appreciation for the Texas style stuff. It's definitely like a cut above, you know, it's fancy fiddling for sure. But I just never appreciated that part of it. I just was like, well, I'd rather go jam in the sticker bushes with the hippies and have some fun.
Brother?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear that.
I'd rather have some fun back there in the back 40, you know. And that was always the thing that I got drawn to. And you know, I don't know, the guys that were legendary around where I grew up, there was this guy named Charlie Burry, and he was a legendary fiddle player. And if he showed up to the gig, it was like a Dark Knight showed up. He was like the guy that could slay a fiddle like nobody's business. And you know, that idea was just so cool to me. And so, I mean, he was the guy that they talked about, you know, the legend.
Yeah.
Charlie Burry.
Right.
So, and I listened to his fiddle playing. He was super unique, and I think that's one of the things that really drew people to him. He was based in the contest style, but he took it, you know, a step further from that. And it was just kind of those types of things were inspirational to me. Just be original and unique, you know, kind of carve out your own way.
Yeah, that is such a deep part of your DNA, and something I've seen from you sort of since we first started playing together. Now you know, we're just talking about fiddle, but I mean, you're an incredible singer too, and a songwriter. But you started out singing with your dad, right? You were singing gospel and singing bluegrass with your dad. Is that right?
Yeah, I started out singing in church actually, which was like I went to an all a cappella church where they didn't have any instruments to join along, and they used what they call shape notes. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It's similar to the sacred harp singing and that kind of thing in this part of the country, but shape notes is like a little more modern version of that. And it's so that, you know, a lot of instruments here and there, they don't believe in, or churches don't believe in having instruments, or in the olden days, it was more of a thing where they couldn't afford any instruments. So it was this way that they could pitch a song and all sing on the same key, 4-part harmony, and not really, and it's all in relative pitch, so you don't have to have any instrument to accompany you.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of how I learned how to sing. You know, my dad was a bass singer, mainly. He was a really strong bass singer in the church, and my mom sang alto, and my sisters would sing soprano, and then I would try to sing bass, and it was like, you know, 3 octaves above my dad.
Right.
And then he got me onto tenor, and that really fit my voice better, and so that's kind of how I developed, you know, my tenor style. And my harmony singing definitely has a steep in gospel and church music for sure.
Yeah, that's That's something I feel like that I wish the string dusters would dive a little bit more into that. Like singing that stuff. It's funny. You go to do gospel music and there's a bit of like there's like some element of impersonation, you know, if like you're not part of that church and part of that tradition, you know. But there's something so powerful about even just singing sort of in that style. The way that your body, the way that your chest is open, the way that you're, like singing in a church, singing in a choir, that
I think
is a different thing.
You should be able to get a similar experience from a choir, and I did in high school. I met a girl who was in the madrigals, and she enticed me to join the madrigals, and that was something that fit my style pretty good because I was able to get right into the harmony, the parts, and all that kind of stuff, And it is a different style of singing, but it's also, I don't know, doing that at a young age kind of helps you develop an ear for intervals and harmony, flows. Of course, a lot of it is stacked in a gospel way, and you might not always sing that way if you're singing a rock song or whatever.
No, but it helps you to understand.
It helps you to hear
those
where those intervals lie. For sure.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. There's a bunch of other stuff I want to talk to you about, but I do. I'm gonna let you play for a bit, if that's all right. Yeah, we're just gonna get right into some music. Everybody, Jeremy Garrett.
Thank you very much. Well, I was going to do something else, but after talking about this gospel stuff, maybe I'll do a little gospel song. If you all cool with that? We'll talk about suffering here below, and let's keep a loving Jesus. Talk about suffering here below, and let's keep a following Jesus. Oh, can't you hear it, Mother? Don't you want to go and leave this world of sorrow and troubles here below, here below. Talk about suffering here below, and let's keep a loving Jesus. Talk about suffering here below, and let's keep a following Jesus. Oh, can't you hear it, Father? Now don't you want to go and leave this world of sorrow and troubles here below, here below. Talk about suffering here below, and let's keep a loving Jesus. Yeah, talk about suffering here below, and let's keep a following Jesus. Oh, can't you hear it, sister? Now don't you want to go and leave this world of sorrow and troubles here below, here below. Talk about suffering here below, and let's keep loving Jesus. Talk about suffering here below, and let's keep loving Jesus. Oh, can't you hear it, brother? Now don't you want to go and leave this world of sorrow and troubles here below, here below. The gospel train is coming. Now don't you want to go and leave this world of sorrow and troubles here below, here below. Thank you very much. Travis said it'd be okay if I did some looping for you guys. Is that all right? Woohoo, looping. Let's get loopy, shall we? And it made no sense, and they tell your friends and they hold your hand, baby, never mind, never mind, never mind. Yeah, what if I left and it made no sense, and they tell your friends and they hold your hand, baby, never mind, never mind, never mind. Alright, I never been, I ain't gonna fall back down now. Alright, I take it on me. All I ever ask, are you gonna be my lover tonight? And take it with me. What if I left and it made no sense, and they tell your friends and they hold your hand, baby, never mind, never mind, never mind. Yeah. What if I left and it made no sense, and they tell your friends and they hold your hand, baby, never mind, never mind, never mind. it made no sense, and they tell your friends and they hold your hand, baby, never mind, never mind, never mind. What if I left and it made no sense, and they tell your friends and they hold your hand, baby, never mind, never mind, never mind. Alright, I'm ready now, I ain't gonna fall back down now. Alright, take it on me. All I ever ask, are you gonna be my lover tonight and take it with me? What if I left and it made no sense, and they tell your friends and they hold your hand, baby, never mind, never mind, never mind. Yeah, what if I left and it made no sense, and they tell your friends and they hold your hand, baby, never mind, never mind, never mind. Baby, never mind, never mind, never mind. What if I left and it made no sense, and they tell your friends and they hold your hand, baby, never mind, never mind, never mind. What if I left and it made no sense, and they tell your friends and they hold your hand, baby, never mind, never mind, never mind. Yeah, what if I left and it made no sense, and they tell your friends and they hold your hand, baby, never mind, never, 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 never mind. Never, never, never mind. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's Jeremy Garrett. I know you just applauded, but it was so good. I think John's going to join Jeremy for a little bit more. But before we went any further, I did want to remind everybody listening at home that we are totally dependent on your support. So if you'd like to donate, contribute, you can do that anytime. Venmo at Travis Book or paypal.me/Travis Book 1. And all of that goes to help us covering the overhead. We've got this venue. We've got an incredible sound crew. We're multi-tracking. We've got video. The band is getting paid. Everything is working, but we depend on your contributions. So thanks for your ongoing support. Now, back to the show.
All right, I'll do a song here that actually this is going to be coming out next month, and this next single, and I recorded it here with my good buddy Jon Stickley. Everybody, he's an amazing musician, and he's around the studio about the time that I was, and man, I was like, I got to see if I can do a track with that dude, because he puts that guitar on fire. But anyways, man, thanks for joining me on this track, and it's called I'm Not the Enemy. 1, 2, 3, 4. What can a heart really take when the one you love the most holds the key and leaves you rolling in the way of the demons and their endless misery? I'm not the enemy, I'm not the enemy, I'm not the one who put you down. I am the one who brings you back and puts you on your feet. So don't you dare yell at me. In spite of what you think, I'm not the enemy. Yeah, well, what's the point of living in the past while you let it hold this power over you? Broken glass, learn the colors of a love we're bound to lose. I'm not the enemy, I'm not the enemy, I'm not the one who put you down. I am the one who brings you back and puts you on your feet. So don't you dare yell at me. In spite of what you think, I'm not the enemy. I'm not the enemy. I'm not the one who put you down. I am the one who brings you back and puts you on your feet. So don't you dare yell at me. In spite of what you think, I'm not the enemy. Yeah, well, I'm not the enemy.
You tired yet, Jeremy? You need a break?
Nah.
You need 5 minutes off? Now let's play another one and then I'll ask you some more questions. That sounds good. Why is that funny? You want to play
I am.
Yeah.
In F. In G.
Oh, yeah, okay. Awesome. Thanks again, everybody, for being here in the flesh. Everyone who's tuning in at home, you know, we have tables available at these shows, and we have it seems pretty safe. So we'd love it if you join us. We're here on Wednesdays, and the Gray Eagle has got a lot of good shows on all the time. So if you're in the neighborhood, Gray Eagle is definitely should be at the top of your list. Is it the Switcher?
I don't know.
Try the Switcher. Whenever I don't know what to do, I always step on the radial switcher like 6 times. Never fixes it, but I always like to try it. There you go, right there. Wait, just one time on the green one. Oh, no.
What's going on? Why? You did so good up to now.
You had it just a minute ago.
Oh, I see what's going on. Sorry about that.
No problem.
There it is.
We fixed it.
Jeez. Ready? 2,
Take your
3, 4. Almost all the cards have been laid down and paid. The next one I lay down could give it all away. Just wish I had a poker face. Well, almost all the dogs across the finish line. The one I bet on, he's just taking his sweet time. I'm laughing and I'm crying. Anymore, I don't know, but I keep hoping just to be an honest man. Anymore, I may be a little broken, but I am who I am. I just am who I am. Almost all the time has run out of the weed. These games of chance, you don't get to choose your deal. I just try to keep it real. Almost all the ice is melted in my glass, and that old bartender's been giving me nothing but the sass. I guess he doesn't want my cash. Well, anymore, I don't know, but I keep hoping just to be an honest man. Anymore, I may be a little broken, but I am who I am. I just am who I am.
All right, that's Jeremy Garrett, everybody. We're going to take a short break for our sponsors. We do have some excellent partners that help us spread the word and help us keep things going. So we'll be back in just a moment.
The Travis Book Happy Hour is brought to you by Americana Vibes, presenting the new album Common Ground by the Sweet Lilies, and The String Dusters, a tribute to Bill Monroe, out May 28th. We also received support from Area 22 Guitars in beautiful Brevard, North Carolina. Area 22 carries the finest in American-made acoustic and electric instruments and boutique tube amplifiers. Visit in person in the Brevard Lumberyard District or online at area22guitars.com. If you're enjoying the happy hour, please tip the band and crew anytime at paypal.me/TravisBook1 or Venmo at TravisBook. And once again, your host, Travis Book.
Thanks. Welcome back, everybody. Wasn't that a nice little commercial break? Thanks, Bill. That song we played, actually, what we were just playing right there was a little interlude, but that was a song that you recorded with the String Dusters on your record, I'm a Stranger. And it's fairly popular on the internet.
Yeah, it's one of my most popular numbers.
Isn't that funny how that goes?
I don't know why, but
So I have more questions. Can we do the second half of the interview?
let's do it.
Let's do it. So, Jeremy, you're not afraid of evolving.
Try not to be.
No, not at all. And I know this, and I say this because you are a person that you've done a lot of changing since we first met.
Hey, I try to be ever changing. Why you never want to be stuck in the same moment, right?
I love that, man. I have a buddy. Whenever he's like, it's like an old high school friend. He's always trying to like get me to hang out, party. You know him, Kevin Mayfield. He used to work for us.
Love Kevin.
He'll be like, "Hey, man, come on, hang out, whatever." I'll be like, "No, man, I'm sorry." He's like, "Man, you've changed," and I go, "Man, you haven't," and that's the joke, you know. So I love that about you. I mean, you know, whether it's like hair, you know, whether it's like simple things like hairstyles or the clothes you wear, to even more specifically like the music you're into, the music you play, and as you're evolving as a musician, you know, you feel like you're embracing new musical styles. How'd you get into this looping thing?
Well, you know, it all evolved from actually being, you know, I sold I don't know if it was a midlife thing or whatever, but me and my wife sold our house in Nashville, Tennessee after being there for about 13 years and bought an RV and traveled around the U.S. and lived in that with our cat and just didn't really need a place to put down stakes, you know, and living that kind of lifestyle. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but there's just something to it that just makes you sort of like have to be chill about a lot of things and be open to new things, because if you're not, then you're not going to have any fun, you know. And so that was one of the things that sort of was the kicking point for all that. But you know, I was still writing songs and being musical, and I play all these other instruments, and I was recording on software, and I had all that recording gear with me in the RV. So bringing that all together and recording it into a project was such a fun process for me, and I enjoyed putting the demos together. I put a lot of work into them, and I was like, man, maybe I should release these. And so I released the RV Sessions 1 and 2. But along the way, I was like, how can maybe there's a way to make this viable, to bring to a live situation where I can bring what I'm doing in the RV to the show.
Yeah.
And of course, I would have to tweak it and whatever to make it, you know, listenable experience. But there was something to it, and the most obvious thing at the time with the technology coming up was a looping machine. And there's all kinds of different, you know, types of loops, but I picked the one that was kind of the best for bringing what I have to offer together, which is the fiddle, guitar, and mandolin, effects, and then singing, you know, on top of that. So, you know, it took a lot of basement practice, I'll say, like a lot. And
Yeah.
if you're like me at all, like I just now know how to send emails and reply all, like so that type of thing is already a challenge for me. So I don't use any computers, as you can see. It's all just analog gear. This is probably the most computer thing that I get. But I just try to use very simple things that aren't going to show me a spinning wheel of death. And if I can do that, I feel like maybe I can learn all the buttons and everything. So I took it upon a personal challenge to try to do that, and it paid off. It took a lot of work, but it finally is to the point now where I can feel pretty comfortable putting all this stuff together.
That's really cool, man. I know when you first started off. As part of a, you're part of an ensemble, and so there's always a little bit of a tension between sort of like all the music that you have in you and all the music you want to play, and the capacity for that ensemble to do that, whatever that may mean, whether it's the ensemble's skill level or even just the sheer amount of other things that they're bringing, their own musical expectations, all those things. And so, I know for you, playing and recording and releasing your own music has always been something that you've done throughout the String Dusters journey. And recently that's become even more relevant since we basically took a year off from being a string duster. Can you talk a little bit about that process? And I mean, one thing that I've sort of noticed is that it feels like, and I noticed this with you and for other guys in the band, it feels like it almost like takes a little bit of it's like a pressure release valve for the pressure cooker of the band, because you don't have to get it all done in that ensemble, right?
Well, that's right. Playing in the String Dusters, this is the greatest bluegrass band I can imagine, personally. So, I can't. Also, I was like, well, I'm not going to go put another bluegrass band together. I already have the best one, so why would I do that? So
Yeah.
It allowed me to kind of open up, well, what else can I get into that would be cool for me, And also different from every other guy. Like, there's 5 very competitive, very accomplished musicians and professional, and in every sense of the word, all driving to do things. And when you have that kind of an atmosphere, I like to be competitive, but I'm also like competitive in a non-competitive way, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do my thing and I'll do it the best, but I want it to be really ultra mine, because I don't want it to interfere with your circle. I don't want to have that kind of competition, but I like the competitiveness of, hey, I'm doing this thing, I'm driving myself to be the best that I can be. And doing solo music has definitely like upped my game as far as being a better musician, for sure. Like, it's opened so many more doors for me, but also, there's an itch that happens. I don't care who you are, over a certain amount of time. I love playing with the String Dusters, and it's so satisfying in so many ways. But it's also just one part of what I do. I don't play guitar or mandolin or, sing certain types of material within the band because it just wouldn't fly. So, and you got Andy Falco's, perfectly good to play the guitar. So you don't need me over there, So
Right.
It's just kind of, that's what it should be. And, but, doing it on your own kind of gives you that avenue to figure out what it is, bring those other elements into play. And for me, it was like you say, it's very much a release. It's so satisfying. Doing a solo thing is very challenging in its own way. Trying to play outside of a unit. You have to bring all the mojo to the whole thing. All the music mojo has to come from one person, and you cannot fail. Because if you do, it's going to be the longest night of your life. So you really have to get after it, and so that's something that has been like a renewed juvenation for me. Been playing since I was 3. I've done it all. I've played with every country rock guy out there, and big timers, too. And it's just like, that's not satisfying for me in the way that playing with the Dusters and then doing my own thing is satisfying for me,
Do you think that? That's. That's right. Woo. Do you think that you're? Do you think that sort of developing this sort of solo self, the sound and the style? Do you feel like that has, in some ways, sort of like furthered your own like personal development? Like has developing your identity as a musician in some ways kind of also informed like your evolution as a person?
Sure. I mean, for me, music is life.
Right, it's all the same.
It's intertwined with my being. And so that expression, is trying to evolve, trying to find something. I'm not trying to reinvent any wheels, like I'm not trying to make something new up. People have used looping machines before, but maybe like I'm the first guy to bring this guitar, fiddle, and mandolin and singing the songs that I sing and the sound that I'm bringing to it, and that's something that I'm trying to keep as my original type deal. And, just definitely having that sort of reflect in my own personal values, I guess. I've always been an open-minded dude, I feel like. Never... Yeah. I've gone through phases like we all have, and I just try to be open to being the better me that I can be. And I fail just like everyone else, but I just try to keep striving for that. And that's what I'm, kind of looking for on the horizon as being a musician, too. I want to be challenged. I want to be the best that I can be and bring all I've got to the table.
And you do.
I try to.
Yeah, well, it's obvious. I mean, I was gonna ask you sort of. I mean, it may be sort of the same answer that you just gave to that question, but like, what for you is kind of like, what is the point and what is your purpose and what, you have this great saying, you'll say about someone. You don't say it as often anymore because you're a really nice person, but you'll say something like, he doesn't even know why he gets up in the morning. Why do you get up in the morning?
Well, that's a good question, actually. I'm not sure I know. I mean, so my criticism is looking inwardly, too, and we all have days that we don't know why. I feel like I know I do. But at the same time, it's that has changed around for me over time, and I want to say what I would post on Facebook, Travis, is I want to be the nicest, most peaceful guru type dude I can be, right?
Yeah.
But, it's just life, so you just have to take it as it comes. I'm lucky because I'm in a position and play music, and that's kind of my job, is to bring messages to people in my songs and to bring joy to people in a listening situation or a live, or on my records. And so I take that pretty seriously, because music is spiritual for me personally. It's a very inward, deep, deep thing. So along with that comes, messages of hope. And, even though I'm not necessarily like a religious guy anymore or any, a churchgoer for that matter, I just have carried a lot of those same messages with me. They're still dear to my heart, like the message of love and hope and peace and brotherly kindness and those types of things, So I try to put messages like that through my songs, and that I take seriously, But that's what I'm trying to evolve to. I write about myself first, It's more like a healing thing for me, and then if I feel like it works for me, maybe I can share that with somebody else, and they'll get that message too,
Yeah, man, really well put. I think it was interesting what you said. You're like, well, I'm trying to be like peaceful. Like you're trying, like, it's we all want to get enlightened, but I had to sort of realize, I was like, the likelihood of me getting free in this lifetime is pretty slim. So I'm going to stop being so damn hard on myself and allow myself to just sort of, live out my incarnation as it is, to sort of accept that, like, maybe my purpose is a little more fundamental than I maybe had thought. But there's a lot of work that can be done, in the trenches.
Less pressure that way.
Oh, man,
and you can put on as much pressure as you want on yourself, and that can be a definite what we call in the band a dirt anchor for your life.
Yeah, the dirt anchor.
And it just holds you down, and it's hard to get past
Drags
that.
Drags you down.
And so I don't know. I've always been drawn to the message of a hope, an optimism that we can do better for each other. And sometimes, and I'm a big grouch. My wife will tell you this. So
you're a little bit of a curmudgeon
so
sometimes.
that's not a natural thing for me. So for me personally, that's a challenge, brother. So
yeah, but that is where your orientation is. I think speaks volumes about where you're at. So just a few more things here. We'll get back to the music. I would call this the lightning round, but it doesn't mean you can give just reasonably lengthened answers. You know, it doesn't have to be like 2-word answers. But what's next for you? What's next?
Well, man, I had all these answers to something of a question like that, you know, maybe even 6 months ago or at the beginning of the pandemic, but all of that has changed, and I just feel like I just want to keep doing what I'm doing with the Dusters and grow that and still have the platform that I have, hopefully to bring some solo music and be a family man to my little girl. I mean, I got kind of some simple requests out of life, you know, so that's how I'm trying to keep it between the rows, you know.
I like that. I was saying it's you can have whatever you want within reason.
Yeah. That's right.
You know, you manifest whatever you want as long as it's reasonable. You can have it. What do you hope for?
You know, a better climate for our country. That's what I hope. You know, just all around, just you know, politics aside. I know they're tough, and that's a tough one, and everyone has their strong beliefs, and I come from a you know, varied background, so I can identify with both sides in some ways, and I have my own convictions. But you know, it's like we gotta all figure out a way. I was talking to my buddy Jon, and we were talking about this around the table the other day. It's we all have to figure out a way to get along again, and to have peace within ourselves, you know, and that's a naive, lame-ass thing to say, I think, you know, I want world peace, but that is what I want. I want that for my country because
everything.
I love the USA, and I think we can do it, you know, if we put our heads together again, so that's kind of what I hope for, buddy.
I believe it, man. I believe it. Just 2 more questions here, and then we'll take a real short break for Thompson Guitar, but I wanted to ask you, what are you afraid of?
Small, tight spaces in the dark.
Yeah, that's legit. Okay, and finally, what makes you happy?
You know, my little girl has really just brought most of my joy to my life. I feel like, you know, just watching her grow up and getting to, you know, spend basically the last year with her. She's 4.5 now, so getting to just watch her sort of become, you know, a young girl now into that phase from a toddler. And she wants to go fishing. She knows what a black-capped chickadee is, and you know, all that stuff brings joy into my life like nothing I've ever experienced. So that makes me the most happy.
That's beautiful, man. Thanks so much for sharing this time with me, everyone. This is Jeremy Garrett.
Thank you, guys.
We're gonna take a short break for our sponsor, Thompson Guitars. You know, I got this. They hit me up and they sent me this guitar. I didn't bring it tonight because Stickley brought his, but they sent me this guitar and it's fantastic and I love it, and I'm so grateful to Thompson for their support. So a word for Thompson.
The Travis Book Happy Hour is supported by Thompson Guitars, maker of fine instruments handmade with love in Sisters, Oregon. The crew at Thompson carries on Preston's legacy with handcrafted guitars enjoyed by some of the finest players on the scene. You're welcome. More at pktguitars.com. The Happy Hour is proud to work with Canned Aid, a nationally recognized nonprofit that rallies volunteers from all walks of life to build thriving communities. Through their unique integrated approach, they distribute water, provide opportunities for underserved youth to experience music, arts, and the outdoors, and to protect and restore the environment. You can view this and every Happy Hour episode anytime at thetravisbookhappyhour.com. And the Happy Hour returns May 5th with special guest Sierra Hull.
Oh my God!
And now back to the show.
Hey, thanks so much, Bill. I'm so grateful that you're part of this, Bill. I mean, really, could there be a better voice for the Happy Hour than Bill Kubilis? Thanks so much, Bill. I hope to get Bill involved a little bit more. You know, who knows? This show could go on forever. It just really sort of depends on you and how delusional I remain through the whole process. But I do so enjoy. I feel so grateful to have the great team here at the Great Eagle and their continued support, and Bill and all the people that participate as part of my house band. too. I feel like it feels like I'm wrapping up the show, but I just want to thank these people. You know, Mike Ashworth, Lindsay Pruitt, and of course Jon Stickley, always there in the clutch. Always happy to play and make music.
You got me through the pandemic, man. Thank you. You got me through.
You're welcome. Does that mean I don't have to pay you?
You said the check was in the mail.
It is already in the
The
mail.
post office delayed, but.
Wah, wah. All right, we're gonna play a few more songs now. This is the part of the show that's a little bit more like we're gonna sort of pretend like we're a band. So we'll play a few more songs and then, you know, I don't even know what. Then the show will be over. On we go.
Some like the peace and some love a little hell. An angel and the devil on a shoulder, giving us the cell. Lately you've been doing things that make me feel like I'm alone. Yeah, when I'm stepping over my wishful heart and I'm sinking like a stone. Well, I'm stepping off of your crazy carousel. I'm tired of throwing everything I've got down a wishing well. Some like to rock and some like to roll. It's different strokes for different folks, and what makes someone tick you may never know. I tried not to judge you for anything you ever did. Yeah, well I chose you 'cause I liked you, but I ended up loving you instead. I'm stepping off of your crazy carousel. I'm tired of throwing everything I've got down a wishing well. Hey, I'm stepping off of your crazy carousel. Yeah, well, I'm tired of throwing everything I've got down a wishing well. Yeah. crazy carousel. I'm trying to throw everything I've got down a wishing well. Oh, I'm stepping off of your crazy carousel. I'm tired of throwing everything I've got down a wishing well. Yeah, down a wishing well. Oh, down a wishing well. Down a wishing well.
Play a song Jeremy and I made up with our good friend John Weisberger, who's also been a guest on the show, dear friend of the band, dear friend of bluegrass music in general. This is a funny little song we made up. We'll do our best. It's called Windy in Nashville. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 2, 2. Well, it's windy in Nashville today, and I don't think that I want to stay. As hard as it blows, it won't take me away. Been here too long, just singing my song. Well, it's windy in Nashville today. Well, it's hard luck in Nashville tonight, as the band's playing under the light. 3 a.m. Broadway is blinking its eye. I keep playing on till the last drinker's gone. It's windy in Nashville today. Morning comes 6 hours late. The sun is shining, but the sky is still gray. My dues piling up like the bills I can't pay. Night after night, they're always inside. Well, it's windy in Nashville today. They don't want your soul in the song when the session is headed for dawn. The suits have gone home, but the mics, they're still on. Don't play from the heart, just follow the chart. Well, it's windy in Nashville today. Shall we? Yeah. Is that all that I can take? Oh yeah. That last tune, you know, there's a line in there that says, "Don't play from the heart, just follow the chart." And that came from a real experience Jeremy had where he was in a session and he was playing, and he had a question about they write the chart. He had a question about it. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but he asked the question, and Byron House, fantastic bass player, used to play for Sam Bush, he comes across the playback. He was running the session. Jeremy's like, yeah, I'm curious, when you get down here to this third part, there's this thing, and he goes, Jeremy, just play the paper. And that was it. And Jeremy went, okay.
It's so mean. So mean to do to a Nashville greenhorn kid that just comes into a session for the first time.
Just play the paper. So that's where that line
I
comes.
think he was kidding, though. There was like a twinkle in his eye when he said it, maybe.
Don't play just follow the chart. Just follow the chart, son. We'll play a song by a dear friend of ours, Andy Thorne. Andy.
I've had all that I can take, gave all that I can give. Can't stand another day, I don't know if I can live. The world's got the best of me, now I'm fighting to get free. And it's time for me to drive. Yes, it's time for me to drive.
I've been Rocky Mountain high, been Death Valley low, from Virginia down to Texas, my speed it never slow. Past is in my mirror, don't call, I won't hear you, 'cause I'm bound for Mexico. Yeah, I'm bound for Mexico.
Get to Mexico, heading straight down to the coast, where the waves meet the shore is where I'll face my ghost. And only time will tell, I might end up in a cell, but I can't go back again. No, I won't go back again. Well, I won't tell you what I did, I won't say just what I've seen.
things that I'm through would make any man mean. So to save you all some strife, I'm about to take my life. I'll bid this world goodbye. Yeah, I bid this world goodbye. That was nice. That was nice.
That was a little taste of what is to come back when the festivals start again, I think.
That was like a little dose of
You
festival.
know, the collabs that just,
It's times like that where I'm playing here and I'm just watching you guys do that I think to myself, man, I'm a friggin' genius.
you picked the right instrument, dude. This is hard.
I know, and I get the front row seat. You know?
That was the best jamming I had all pandemic for sure.
Yeah, that was good.
And then some.
When you make up the gig and you do all the heavy lifting, then you get the best seat in the house. That's the lesson that I've learned. I think we just got one more here. We'll have Jeremy lead us through another one.
Well, I've had a dark cloud hanging over me a while. Well, it's time for that to go. When every day's just like the last, and I'm counting up the miles, I don't want to do it anymore. I've been walking, been climbing, been working way too long. I need a change in my direction. Good times come. I've been ready, been waiting, been worried I might be wrong. Now it's here, feel just fine. Good times come. Feel the good time coming on. I don't mind my job, and I don't mind a heavy load. Yeah, we don't got those bills to pay. But when the shine starts getting dull, when it all turns just a little bit old, it's then you've got to get away and dance the night away. I've been walking, been climbing, been working way too long. I need a change in my direction. Good times come. I've been ready, I've been waiting, been worried I might be wrong. Now it's here, I feel just fine. Good times come. Feel a good time coming on. Been climbing, been working way too long. I need a change in my direction. Good times come. I've been ready, been waiting, been worried I might be wrong. Now it's here, I feel just fine. Good times come. Oh, good times come. Oh, good times come. Feel the good time coming on.
T-shirt sporting the Happy Hour motto. It's okay to be happy. Available now at the TravisBookHappyHour.com. I'm trying. The Travis Book Happy Hour is written and produced by the friggin' genius Travis Book. Sound engineers Andy Eubanks. Video produced by John Zara, and I am AVL. The voice you are hearing belongs to Bill Cabillas. The guests, house band, host, crew, and rent are paid through the generous support of viewers and listeners like you. Please contribute through paypal.me/TravisBook1 or at Venmo at Travis Book. The Happy Hour welcomes Sierra Dawn Hull on May 5th. And now, back to the show.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Travis Book Happy Hour, a labor of love. For those of you watching at home, any contribution, any donations, gratefully accepted. Help grease the wheels here. It's paypal.me/Travis Book or Venmo at Travis. Let me start again.
Easy for you to say.
Let me get it together, Travis. PayPal.me/Travis Book 1 or Venmo Travis Book. Sorry to belabor the point, but we do need your support. It's been a great week. I'm so glad that Jeremy's been hanging out. So glad he's here to play some music. We'll leave you with this tune. It's called A Hard Life. Makes a good song.
Lights flashing, something waits at the end of your style. 'Cause a short life of trouble and a long time being wrong. A hard life makes a good song. A hard life makes a good song. Does she take all you give just to call her baby? And you know she just playing a game. Or do you lay in your bed with one eye open? Well, something waits at the end of your pain. 'Cause short love and trouble and a long time being wrong. A hard life makes a good song. A hard life makes a good song. Short love and trouble and a long time being wrong. A hard life makes a good song. A hard life makes a good song. You know, a hard life makes a good song.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here in the studio audience. Thanks to the Gray Eagle and all of our supporters. Thank you everywhere, everyone, for everything. We'll see you back here next week. on the Travis Book Happy Hour.